Public access television has been shut down in Los Angeles.
Time Warner, as a part of the transition to the state law, took away 14 public access studios that were functioning throughout Los Angeles. Those were turned off in January of this year.
The city took over responsibility, and now because they're broke, they're basically wiping out all the public access channels.
Channel 35, the government access channel, is in the proposed budget being cut by 50%. Channel 36 is also taking probably about a 55% cut and removing its entire operating budget, which will make it very challenging if they can provide service at all, and that channel may go dark.
Not willing to give up a critically important public forum, Full Disclosure gathered together prominent and concerned citizens to form a nonprofit corporation known as the Public Television Industry Corporation, whose sole mission is to create and operate public access studios and channels in the LA area. Citizens from all over Los Angeles came to the LA City Council to support the new corporation. The first to speak was Stanley Scheinbaum, former president of the Los Angeles Police Commission and a regent of the University of California.
The problems that we face are severe. The need for public access and public television industry is therefore more critical than ever. And I urge that this body move toward applying freedom of speech principles to the use of public television. Thank you.
We have a proposal for 4 channels to cover over the next 4 years, 1 channel at a time, and we have proposed a way that it could be financed that would not pose a burden on the city and that would eventually become self-sustaining.
I'm here to support the proposal presented by the Public Television Industry Corporation. We need facilities to produce public access. There are producers all over Los Angeles who have a message and a mission and have no facilities at all. The proposal before you will give those people a voice and an opportunity to express that through public access without harming the city budget, and yet allow the freedom of information to be given out through a public access forum.
We live at a time when the mainstream media are in very rapid decline, newspapers, television, and radio news, and it's also the same time that the city is in desperate need of a healthier public conversation that cuts across economic levels and race and communities and neighborhoods and lets us engage in a common language. I think public access TV is critical to that, as is the internet that's emerging but in its infancy as a news source. And I think a public-private partnership with the city helping do this is both legally within its power and would be the healthiest and most important thing as we try to move out of the current problems into a better world tomorrow. Thank you.
Public television covers a realm of everything.
The goal of these citizens was to motivate the City Council to use a portion of the franchise fees paid to the city to support public access in a public-private partnership. Javier Hermosillo explained that the plan of the corporation was to become financially independent of the city.
I know you're concerned about the budget, and so I want to assure you that in the proposal under the DIVCA Act, the initial dollars that would be provided for capital costs eventually would be reduced to the point where the 4 channels and Public Television Industry Corporation would be self-sufficient.
Our proposal in no way conflicts with any of the existing either Channel 35 or 36 programming that is taking place. This is mainly meant to be an addition to, not in competition of. So,
Public Television Industry Corporation will uphold the finest standards of television broadcasting, and it's the best way to get public access back. By having a studio staffed with knowledgeable and accessible employees who will make the whole process easy, offering training and studio facilities.
Los Angeles sets the tone for the rest of the nation. We cannot send the message that this freedom of speech avenue has been closed. Thank you.
Not a single person in here without an elected office can actually get on the air anymore, except for public access. So the P-TIC proposal is a way of getting the power back into the hands of the people and keeping it within the realm of professionals who can do their job.
I think it's important for you people to look at this proposal in great depth. If you look at the amount of time versus volunteer time that this brings to the table for very little money, out of $12 million in this budget over 4 years, there's only $1 million for salaries. There's 250 time slots. If you multiply that out by all the people that are in it, it represents a tremendous volunteer effort for a very small payment. And it's a phased-in program that goes from 1 station to 4 over 4 years. So I think it's a very carefully done business plan and one that deserves your consideration. Thank you.
So much that we love about this country, so much that was noble and good and advanced all of the interests and dreams of our people has been lost in the 32 years I've lived here. Now, expression is not really free because it's owned by the 6 monopolistic corporations that own everything about entertainment and information. Public access is this little venue, our only thing left for people, for individuals, for that independent opinion out there to be heard. And for this council to restrict it any further would be a disgrace and a loss to the community. Please, instead of diminishing it, expand it. We need more. Thank you very much.
A week later, the Budget and Finance Committee reviewed the proposal from the Public Television Industry Corporation. Chairman Bernard Parks brought the issue to the table.
We gave ITA the responsibility to look at that proposal that people came in during the budget process as a joint partnership, as to the public partnership that people wanted to recommend. Have we looked at what the cost of dealing with PEG and whether it fits within the 40%, or is that, do you need more money, or is there less money, or?
Councilman, we've done a cursory review of the proposal that was submitted, and the year 1 request for our budget is $2.6 million. Of that, $300,000 is coming from the unrestricted 5% funding, and $2.3 million is being requested from the capital 1% fund.
At the prior hearing, Councilman Rosendahl explained the 1% and 5% figures that they were discussing.
There is a franchise fee that's 5%, kicked in January 1, was a 1% for capital dollars. Is that roughly about a total of about $30 million?
That is correct. The 1% is brand new, taking effect. It's actually the first quarter of that funding is being received by the city, targeted for May 15th.
And so Councilman Rosendahl pressed the Information Technology Agency to use the money available to support the P-TIC proposal.
Use that 1% for capital use in one facet, but it would still allow monies to be used for public access. And if in any way, shape, or form we appreciated the variety of public access producers who came in and spoke about First Amendment rights and spoke about what their challenge is. I listened to them and I heard them, and I'd like us, at least I want to go on record and say I would like to see that part of the 40%. And if you're telling me now it's as high as $6 million, where last year was $3.8 million, there is enough robustity within that 40% to continue public access or to help keep it going.
Bernard Parks then charged the ITA to carry on the proposal to the next level, acknowledging that there is funding to support the capital expenses.
Your task was to review their study and bring it to ITGS. The funds that are restricted for the 1% is not going anywhere, so their proposal at a later time could access that, and you have more than the $2 million. So the issue we would have to resolve at a later time is the $300,000 above the operational cost or the infrastructure. So why don't we get the report that you are working on to ITGS that basically makes the recommendations for the use primarily of the 1%, and let that committee review it and evaluate it, and then we'll address the remaining for this first year, the $300,000 during the financial year, during the fiscal year.
And so we're over the first hurdle. With a lot of public support, we are likely to see public access television return to Los Angeles.
The city, ITA, and I think council all recognize that there is a greater demand for public access content. It's a matter of whether or not, as a policy decision, this council determines what the city can do in its current financial situation.
We have the technology, we have the people, all lined up, ready to go. All we need is your blessing. Thank you.
If we are to be successful to get the Information Technology Council Committee to support our proposal, we need your help. One click on the first link below will send an automatic email letter to all 15 LA City Council members. Please click on the second link to see a list of the phone numbers of the LA City Council members. Call each of the members and ask them to support the public television industry proposal to restore public access. Please click on the third link to email us if you want to be notified of the times and dates to attend the next City Council meeting. Please be sure to leave your comments below. Thank you.
If you'd like to watch the entire presentation before the LA Budget and Finance Committee on April 29th, please click on the link below this video screen.